What is up, YouTube? It's your boy John Luke 07 2000. Figured I'd play some Arena for you guys with a new series where I start out a completely fresh account and then try and work up to tier 1 decks and getting as high in the mythic tiers or in the tiers as possible and ranked and kind of ripping off some other streamers maybe. But we're gonna go complete newbie to as high as we can get. Hopefully we can get to mythic. Probably gonna have to play a little bit offline. Not recording, but I'll fill you guys in between those. At the moment I am stuck in the tutorial on this new account. It is not letting me skip it for some reason, so I'm gonna get through this and then I'll be back as soon as I can after we get through the tutorial, and we'll start from there. Thanks. Alright, so I finally figured out how to skip the tutorial. I think it's going to be Chandra on this one. Like Chandra. Alright, so we have to do... We have to play a game. Okay. Select a deck. Does it matter, right? Not only do I consider this series kind of a project just to see, what we can do after I've had my first account and everything. But also another thing that is really important to me is to teach new players. Most of the jargon carried over to other games like Hearthstone come from games like Magic, from Magic in particular. So there might be some jargon that you might not understand, so I'm going to put definitions of what, that means if I use some type of slang or jargon. Just kind of keep people in the loop and maybe make it a little bit easier to watch the content if you don't know anything about Magic or don't know anything about card games. I think I'm actually against an actual opponent, so I'll stop slow rolling them and I'll just keep this card. I have no clue what this deck actually does. They've mulliganed to 4, so we've already won essentially. You usually just don't mulligan to 4, guys. If you're mulliganing to 4, it's pretty hard for you to win. Now, from the opponent, I'm hoping they actually play a card this turn. They are. Okay. Okay. So this is probably their first time using the client. Makes me feel a little bad. Okay, I got a 4-drop. And they're thinking. Doesn't really matter what this is. We're probably just gonna... Okay. Gotcha. So they don't want to play. They're just trying to get through this. My turn, we're gonna bounce. And then beat them up. Alright, so... went ahead and got the quest done to play a match with one of the decks. It was pretty easy. The guy didn't really... I just cut out the video, cut out that match because the guy didn't seem to know how to use the client. It was over pretty quick. And I gotta get more quests done to... Gotcha, unlock everything. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and play a couple more games, and I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so just got through all of the introductory matches. 3-0, obviously, dude. So we're gonna now we have the full game. We need to come back and play every day consecutively to unlock the new decks, which I forgot about. I'm not gonna lie, but that's a thing. The welcome bundle is something we're gonna invest in pretty much right away. It's a great deal, so we're definitely gonna do that. Another thing too is, we gotta set a budget for ourselves. So that's a part of the channel. I'm saying, until we get a really a competitive deck, which I haven't really figured out what deck I'm going to play. I've been playing a lot of Is It Drake, so I kind of want this account to have a different tier deck. So maybe Golgari, maybe some type of Boros deck. Probably Boros is what I'm thinking, just because I want to get matches done more, and that's something you'll learn when you start playing Arena, is just play as many matches as you can, and make sure you're maxing out on all of your quests. That for sure. So we are going to do that. So I'm going to get that. We'll set a budget. What do you guys want the budget to be? I want it to at least be a reasonable amount of money to be able to play. And, you know, get a good deck relatively quickly so we can breeze through some of the easier stuff. The first thing we're going to start grinding is the constructed events. As soon as we get a somewhat reasonable deck, we'll start running those as much as we can, just to build coins and to unlock more and more cards. So that's one thing I really would suggest, is when this constructed event is here, the 500 coin one, or 95 cents, I would grind these pretty hard, and I would continue to grind them. You only have to win, I think, 4 times to get your money back, and you get cards. If not, you get you know, a proportion with different cards, and if you win 7 times, you double your coins and you get 3 cards, which is at least 2 rares. Not bad. So this is one of the better events in the whole game, and I hope they don't take it away. I actually stopped playing Arena for a little bit because they actually took that away for a week. So I was like, well, there's no reason for me to play, because that's the only thing I grinded. And then I started grinding ranked on my main account. So yeah, I'm gonna probably build Boros. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy the welcome bundle, and I would suggest that everyone does that when they start Arena. This is a fantastic deal. Went and got the welcome bundle, so it's 5 packs of Core 19 and then 2,500 gems, which is a lot. It'll take some time to get through those. So let's go ahead and open these 2019 packs. Okay. And I'm really just looking at the rare. I mean, there are some uncommons that I'm going to need from this, but and commons as well. Palaka Worm, kind of bad. That used to be an uncommon. And Goblin Trash Master. Alright, last one. Man, these have been pretty Trash Master. Gold Wild Card. Cool, and Gentle Wishes, which has always been bad. So those were not great packs. Those were not great packs at all. Let's check out our collection here. So we're just going to act like we're making a new deck. So we got 1 Mythic Wild Card, 3 Rare Wild Cards, 6 Uncommon, and 9 Common. Let me see here. Kind of very basic cards. The Talpa, I guess, is kind of interesting. Tempest Gen, that's a good card. We only have 1 of those though, and we have none of the good cards for the blue deck. Black cards. We got Murders, at least. Shocks. Oh, we got a set of Shocks. That's good. Excuse me. Okay. Monstrosaur. It's a good card. Llanowar Elves. We do not have a set of Llanowar Elves. We only have 2. Druid of the Cowl. Gigantosaurus. Locker Worm. Draconic Disciple. Lands. Do we have any rare lands? I don't believe we do. Okay. So, from what I see here, the first deck that we should probably make is either a green-red deck, or maybe a white-red deck. The green-red deck is going to have more punch. It's going to be easier to upgrade. And here's another thing, guys, is we are not going to spend a lot of resources on this deck at all. So this deck is essentially going to be our introductory deck. So I'm going to go ahead and build this. And get started with that, so we at least have something we can start trying to acquire cards with. This is not gonna. We're not taking this into ranked. Like, this is not gonna be a ranked deck, and probably won't be until it won't be even close until we get the new set coming out. I think at the end of the month. Is that right? End of the month, the new set comes out. But we're just gonna build a turbo green-red deck. We're gonna try to put big creatures and have some removal, and hopefully it works out. So I'll be back after I get the deck built, and we'll do a little run over on it. Alright, so this is the build we're going to go with for the first deck that we're building. Here's the kind of breakdown. It's a red-green deck, 4 shocks, 3 Viashino Pyromancer, 3 Druids, Centaur Corsair, a little bit of ramp, a lot of ramp, and then essentially the goal of the deck is to get Charging Monster Store, and these, especially Charging Monster Store. Charging Monster Store is actually a very good card in Best of 1, I think, especially at this level, where I will be playing people who don't have good decks either. Charging Monster Store is one of the cards that can actually let us get somewhere. And then on the same kind of thing, the Volcanic Dragon has some type of synergies with this Lapras. Not that that is intentional. I don't really care. This is a 6/6 flying that pumps itself. That is fine. Burning Sun's Avatar, Vigilant Bailoff, these will be cut as soon as we get something better. Palaka Worm, this thing will also be cut as soon as we get something better. Galta. So, like I said, the only thing I really gave extra resources for that I used wild cards were for the Llanowar Elves. Got 2 more of those. So we still have a good amount of wild cards left. The thing is, I found on my main account that I have extra mythic wild cards in this metagame and extra common wild cards. These are actually very valuable resources. If you're not spending a ton of money on the game, your rare wild cards and your uncommon wild cards should be saved. They should be saved for decks that you're actually going to build, because you're going to need these, and that will become more apparent in the series. We have 2,500 gems. How many packs? Oh, let's actually cancel. Let's save this deck. Now let's put Draconic Disciple. It's our only red-green card. Now let's put Charging Monster Store on our deck. We're going to call it Noob. We'll call it Red-Green Little Kid. That's pretty much what this deck is. It's a little kid deck. So, okay. And then let's check out how many packs we can get for that much. We can get 12 packs. I think we're going to save the gems for a better use. And you can get 15 packs for 500 more. $5 more, kind of, I guess. Yeah, right. They should really make some of these rotating sets cheaper. They should make them cheaper than the main set. They're never going to do that, but an idea nonetheless. I just remembered there's some codes that we can put in from the Gamers Awards. I think there might be one more for the esports thing that we can redeem for some extra cards. So I'm going to do that really quick to see if that adds any cards that we might need for our decks. So it looks like the code I was looking for, the Game Awards code, is actually expired. So we are just going to have to start with the 3 packs of Guilds of Ravnica that I got. Experimental Frenzy, that's a good card in red decks. We don't know if we'll be using it, but Doom Whisper, that's a great card. Awesome. So we got some cool cards in that one. Nothing, I don't think we got anything that we can add to our decks. Let me see here if anything kind of pops out. All good there. We will go ahead and start playing. So we are going to use this deck. We are going to play a constructed event, and we're going to enter with the coins, and we're going to go little kid. So first actual game that we're going to play. These are full of good players and real decks. There are kind of bad decks like ours, or beginner decks, but mostly this hand's not great. We're going first. We'll keep it. One thing you'll notice is I keep pretty loose hands pretty often. I think I probably should mulligan more. Maybe that's something that we can find out. So gonna see what's going on here. They have taken a mulligan. My opponent, the Nissa, they have taken a mull of 5. So that's good news. Hopefully we can punish them on that. Now they're trying to decide. I mean, you got to keep 5. This is one thing. You should always keep 5. I don't think you should pretty much ever mulligan a 4 unless it's a completely unplayable 5. It's most likely right to just play the 5-card hand. There's not many 4-card hands that are, especially in this best of 1 format on Arena, that are going to be any better than your 5-card hand. So they did start with the 1/1, so that's good for them. Is a card they would like to play. We're going to start with Yoshino Pyromancer, and we will do 2 to them. Ship it back. A lot of things could happen here. If they hit their second land, they're going to be in a much better spot, which I don't know if they did. Okay, they did. Okay. They did get their land, so that's good for them. Hopefully they have a 2-drop. I would assume they would in the deck style. This seems like a newer player. Gotcha. Okay. So they're buffing up this Marshall, Hazada Marshall with Knight's Pledge, +2/+2. We're just going to take that. No blocks. See what we draw. We draw a land. Feel pretty comfortable racing this card, although we could trade that with Titanic Growth. I think that's what we'll do, actually. I think we're just going to trade Titanic Growth for that and take the 2-for-1. Did they hit the 3rd land drop? They did. Okay. And they are going for Pegasus Corsair. Okay. That actually makes our trade still fine. So we're just hoping they attack now, which they probably will. Yep. Cool. And we will block. We'll block. And we will Titanic Growth our Yoshino Pyromancer. And we are 2-for-1ing our opponent, so we're getting 2 of their cards for 1 of ours. It's a 2-for-1. And cool. So now we're here. We have nothing to do, no attacks. Ship it on back to the opponent, and punishing them on the 2-for-1 is obviously a very good thing. When they have mulliganed to 5, we want to make them spend as many cards as we can. So they've went into a Lockston Linebreaker, which they're going to start coming in with the Pegasus Corsair. I would have attacked there with the Pegasus Corsair, but I am not our opponent. I'm going to move into 5/5 Vigilance, and now we got a game going. So no attack still. The Linebreaker, they're going to start pushing, I would imagine, with the Corsair. Next turn we'll get the Lathliss down, most likely. I don't think there's any cards you'd rather play than a 6/6 flyer here. Not too worried about that. I imagine the beats are coming in with the Linebreaker and the Corsair, unless they're very scared of that Baloth. They want a 2-for-1 themselves with the Swiftclaw. They do not. Excuse me. Coming in. Alright, so now we are going to attack. With the Baloth and the Pyromancer, we're going to get in. They're just going to chump there. Take 2, and we're going to put out the Dragon Queen. And ship. So now this is going to pretty much hold them back even more. Their strategy of racing with the Line Breaker and the Corsair is not good unless they can get rid of Lapis. And play a Healer Hawk. That's not going to do much. Except for essentially chump block. So if we play a dragon, we get a dragon. Okay, that was actually a very good draw. This gives all of our other creatures trample. It also is quite large. But lets us get in with these 2. And now we have trample damage. So that's pretty much game unless they answer the Lapis, I would imagine. Or Hawk, that is exactly what I would like to do. And go. So now, of course, they cannot attack because they will die. They're actually going to have something pretty good. And Montresaur, I'm not even going to play that, essentially. I'm just going to bash. We'll play the Montresaur for the feel bads. And we'll attack with everything. This card just ends up doing very dumb things. Especially if you have a Llanowar Elf, a turn 4 charging Montresaur is kind of rough for a lot of decks, especially fair decks. But we're just gonna kill them really quickly. Cool, easy game. So that is probably gonna do it for the first episode here, unless we, maybe get some quest done. Okay, yeah, we got 100 gold there. So we are going to go home, not hit the resign button. So one more win, and we will get that pack. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to put out another video most likely tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I appreciate your viewing. If you could leave a comment or like the video, that would be very appreciative. Of course, you can subscribe as always. For more arena content. Hopefully this was informative for an introductory type of video to Magic Arena. And I hope you guys have a great one.